Welcome back to the hot stage. This is it. This November, the world of rallying is going to turn its gaze to Saudi Arabia, the final round in the FIA Rally Championship for this year. It's going to be contested for the very first time. Round number 14, a bold new chapter perhaps in the history of rallying, but it's the final round. 3 title contenders and based out of Jeddah. The event is uncharted territory for everyone. So it is a blanket reset. History doesn't matter. The terrain varied from high-speed plains to volcanic rock beds to desert stretches. The itinerary from the rally, it's going to start from Wednesday evening all the way through to Saturday. It kicks off with an asphalt super special in Jeddah, then moves into 2 loops of 3 stages on Thursday. Friday is going to be the longest day, a huge 141.7 kilometres across what's going to be mostly gravel terrain. Now on Saturday, the rally concludes with 3 decisive tests, including the final pass of the Turban stage as the season-ending power stage. And with the title on the line, the stakes couldn't be higher for the top manufacturer outfit, the team that's dominated the whole of 2025, Toyota Gazoo Racing, WRT, otherwise known as the World Rally Team. The season has already been incredible. They've got 12 wins out of 13. Is it going to be 14? Who knows? So 13 wins out of 14, matching the best tally for a manufacturer. So we've got our title contenders, Elfyn Evans and co-driver Scott Martin. They've been ultra consistent this year. Every rally finishing inside that top 6, 2 wins, 6 other podiums, including 4 successive second places. If you remember Evans last year, he had an absolutely fantastic finish. Now, just 3 points behind is Sebastian Ogier, who's been on the podium 9 out of the 10 rounds he started, and 6 wins. And then there is the outsider, very much the underdog, but do not rule him out, Kalle Rovanperä. After 3 wins and 2 podiums this year, yes, he has but a faint chance, and this rally marks his final WRC outing. It's going to be really, really exciting. The terrain is brand new to everyone. Mountains, desert, volcanic rock. Now, because of that variety, setup is going to be key. Drivers will need pace, but they'll also just need to survive. And with no prior WRC history, as we mentioned at this location, any number of surprises could change that outcome. Beyond the fight, though, there's plenty of other stories. In WRC 2, for example, reigning champion Oliver Solberg is going to be in action for the last time in WRC 2 in his GR Yaris Rally 2, gaining experience of the terrain ahead of what could be a massive chance maybe for the championship next year, finishing in Jeddah. And home interest will also rise from their home hope. But to wrap up, a few questions heading into the event. 1, will Elfyn Evans hold his nerve and convert that consistency into a world title? 2, can Seb Ogier find that extra edge to clinch a record equaling 9th title? 3, will Kalle Rovanperä in his final WRC start pull off a hero's finish? 4, which team will manage the unknown terrain the best, and who is going to fall victim to it? And finally, how will the new terrain shape up the support categories and those local entries? In short, this is going to be a rally of first time in Saudi Arabia, first time for many of these stages, and it's also the season finale, as we know, for the WRC. Expect drama, surprises, expect a true World Championship decider in one of the most unexpected places. Stay tuned as the 2025 WRC saga reaches its climax at Rally Saudi Arabia. From Jeddah and beyond, it's going to be one for the history books. Make sure you're subscribed, because if you don't want to miss what's coming next. So welcome, it is officially Rally Week, round 14 in Saudi Arabia. How excited are you? I am very excited, because when we look at these guys, Elfyn Evans on 272 points, just 3 points behind him is Seb Ogier, a rally legend. And now if Evans beats this guy, it's going to be amazing. Pretty much, I think whoever wins it is going to take it. And that Calais Rovanperä with that outside chance of beating both of them. Imagine both of them out. They both have an accident. Calais wins, gets maximum points. Oh my gosh. And this is what the terrain looks like. We've already mentioned it. 198 brand new stage miles. Frequent surface changes on each stage. And you've got here rocks lining out the route, placing that onus on precise pace notes and positioning. And to be fair, that is something that Elfyn Evans is very, very good at. Is he going to have that advantage? Well, he was asked, is this going to be a normal week? And he's replied by saying, yeah. Elfyn Evans on his World Championship fight against a certain Seb Ogier. It's this man here, and he said, hopefully the conditions are fair for all of us, and may the best man win. But who is going to be that best man? We're going to be talking about that in our preview. Seb Ogier on the WRC title showdown in Saudi Arabia. I can't wait. It's so exciting. Now, what I think was quite interesting is this. Now, if the 2024 WRC point system had been used in 2025, we'd have Elfyn Evans leading on 258 by 17 points, Ogier on 241, Rovanperä on 231, 47 down, Tanak on 213. Which we would be on anyway, funnily enough, and Nuven on 167. So that's quite interesting. Evans and Ogier wouldn't be on as many points, and Evans would have a bigger lead going into the final race. But there we go. I just thought that was quite interesting. Club Dirtfish shared that, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to have to share that with you guys. But let's talk about Art Tanak first, because it's also going to be Art Tanak's last race. And apparently his adventures with setup and changing cars did the trick. The Hyundai boss believes the team has now found something good. That's the Hyundai boss, a.k.a. Andrew Wheatley. This is from rallyjournal.com, and Wheatley is fully convinced that the development version of the Hyundai i20 Rally 1 car, first introduced at this year's Rally Sweden, is better than the previous one, and at the same time a clear step in the right direction. He feels he received confirmation at Rally Japan, where Fumo was able to set good times on asphalt and Art Tanak was unable to produce miracles with the old version, therefore finally potentially confirming that the new Hyundai is better than the old Hyundai. It would have been a bit embarrassing otherwise, wouldn't it? Hyundai homologated a batch of updates at once after reaching an agreement with the other manufacturers that it could use all remaining development jokers within the current regulations at the beginning of 2025, which they did. In the car's development, Hyundai focused on improving the suspension. Now the Hyundai suspension is a lot closer to Toyota's and M Sports, and they're quite happy with what they've got. So well done to Tanak's experiments. Here is the full itinerary breakdown. 8 o'clock WRC on the welcome parade. That's on the Tuesday. Now, Wednesday the 26th, this is local time. You've got the 11 o'clock shakedown, and 8:30 in the evening, we've got the SS1, the super special stage. Just 5.2 kilometres. It's going to get good. But then the real day begins on the Thursday at 8 o'clock. We've got SS2, and that runs all the way to SS8 at 8:30 in the in the evening. So like a full 12 hours of rally, but the big day also being on the Friday, again starting at 8:30, SS9 all the way to SS14, but that's at 4 o'clock. Then we've got the final day. What it all comes down to, will it come down to it? Is it going to be as close as it was in Rally Japan? We're most certainly going to have our fingers crossed, because it starts at 8:35 in the morning and ends at 1:15. I'm not quite sure that is UK time. I'm pretty sure this is local time. But, I mean, you've got 16 kilometres followed by 32 kilometres, followed by 16 kilometres for the Wolf Power Stage. Will it all come back to the Power Stage? It kind of did last year with the manufacturer's cycle, didn't it, in Japan? I cannot wait. I hope it goes all the way to the end. But, pray tell, who is going... I mean, who's going to win? Who's going to win that finale? And that is a question we are absolutely going to be asking. Who is going to win the WRC finale in Jeddah? To be honest, I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if you do, but I can assure you, I don't have any idea in relation to who's going to win. May the best man win. You got to think Ogier. He's got a lot of experience, doesn't he? He has got massive amount of experience going into this rally. But yeah, I mean, let's get into the drivers, shall we? Let's get into those drivers. As you can see, our very much our rally car. I think it's the Central European Rally going on in the background. But here's our rally room. So let's begin with the person potentially least likely to do that well. I'm going to go with Gregor Monster, simply because, yes, it is. Are we seeing Gregor Monster's last ever rally? Potentially we are. There's talk about him doing like a Rally 1 and a Rally 2 program next year. So I'm confident this may well be his last time as a full-time rally driver. He just hasn't had the results this year. What's going to happen to this guy though here, Josh McLaren? He's been solid, if not spectacular this year. Again, a funded drive by M Sport. I think M Sport, having essentially two pay drivers, they need the money, but in terms of results, it's really hurt them. Now, they say the car might not be as good as last year's car, but I think with a rookie and Monster, there's no real way of knowing. And in terms of the rally here, we do start with a blank slate, but these guys will be doing well, I think, on pace to beat any of the Toyota and the Hyundai drivers. He did good in Japan, did Sami Piari, but I think he starts on a level playing field like everyone else, but he's had quite a few mistakes this year, so I'm throwing it out there and saying, yeah, it's going to be super close, but I think he's going to be last of the runners outside of Ems, but I think it will be close. And next up, the man who has had an absolute disastrous year, Terry Neuville. I would love him to get a win. I mean, this guy, as I mentioned, I think in our preview for Japan, he's potentially has he had the worst title defence ever? I'm going to have to look back in the rally history. But surely, I mean, he hasn't had one victory so far. Bearing in mind, he could win in Saudi Arabia. It's been absolutely disastrous. And I can't see anything changing there. Again, Adrian Fourmeau, the man, he's like a slightly better version of Taka. He's got his speed. We've proven that on for the Hyundai team. However, like Taka, maybe not as much, but he still makes mistakes. If you remember in Rally Japan, he was looking good. He didn't make it to the end. He ripped the door off, didn't he? Yeah. Much to the absolute shock of his co-driver. So I'm not expecting an amazing amount from Fourmeau. You never know, though. As I keep saying, we're going into this rally blind. The pace notes are going to be the ones that really tell the difference. Next up, we've got Takamoto Katsuta, who again I think is going to be very average. It's even. We know just a tiny bit offline could lead to like a puncture or mistake, and therein lies the issue for Taka. However well he's doing, it seems he has that chip in his arsenal that I thought was really going to smoothen out this year. He has not, as Rally Japan proves. So I'm just hoping he survives, and this may well be a rally of survival. Next up, we've got the first of our championship contenders. It doesn't mean I don't think he's going to win the championship, because, well, yeah, maybe. He's 3 points behind Seb Ogier, but I think these two are going to be so close to each other, you can swap them around. Yes, at the moment, I very much am sitting on that fence between these two in terms of the rally. Now, the advantage Evans has may not be a championship experience, but it's going to be those pace notes. And if it is super close, it may well come down to how good the pace notes are, as well as the fact that Elfyn Evans is leading on the road in the first day, which, in terms of road cleaning, I think is going to hurt him. And the big thing is whether Evans can soak up the pressure and come back the next day if he's not leading that rally. Albeit Seb Ogier will be going in second, but I think he's going to have an advantage. And I predict by the end of the first full day, he probably will be leading Elfyn Evans, and Elfyn Evans is going to have to dig really deep. So, can he? I think it's going to come down to the pace notes for Evans, and I think it's going to come down to the experience and soaking up the pressure for Seb Ogier. He's been here before. He's lost titles and he has won titles. I think Evans is hungrier. What does Seb Ogier still have to prove? But Evans hasn't won. And I think it will come down to how much of a lead, because I predict with Evans opening the road, unless we have some kind of weird weather disaster in the desert, which I doubt, I think it's going to all come down to how big a gap at the end of that first day of running, how big the gap is going to be between Ogier and Elfyn Evans. And next up, we have Ott Tanak. I think he and someone else is going to be favourite to win. Why? Because he's got absolutely nothing to lose. He's kind of retiring after this rally. So I think he's going to go flat out. When in doubt, flat out. The Colin McRae mantra, he's going to either win the rally or he's going to end up in the scenery. That's what I think is going to happen to Tanak. The same with Kalle Rovanperä. He's quite far down in the points compared, for example, to both of his teammates. Again, he's got nothing to lose. And I think a wounded animal and in Rovanperä is going to be very dangerous, and a wounded animal in Tanak. Both of them, really, let's be honest, have absolutely nothing to lose. They are two very dangerous individuals gunning for the rally lead. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait. So I've just clicked on the wrong one. Better be the hot stage, not the hot lap. There we go. So yeah, as I mentioned, I absolutely cannot wait for the WRC rally. It's going to be so exciting, and subscribe if you want. We'll have potentially update each day. The frustrating thing about this, lots of people are working. I mean, why have they haven't done this on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday is absolutely beyond me. And why does it finish on the Saturday on a half day? It's ridiculous, because so many people are potentially going to be watching this rally. It's really, really annoying in terms of the itinerary here. I'm sure there is a reason. I'm sure there's an obvious reason. But then don't have this as the last stage, in my opinion. I'm sure Saudi Arabia paid extra, like they do, like Abu Dhabi does in Formula One, to have this as the last stage. But if you're gonna have a stage that all begins in the middle of the week, don't do it. Really, really annoying. Really, you're gonna, from what is the most exciting championship finale we've had in years, it's gonna be scuppered by many people going to work and completely missing it. Yeah. Anyway, ran over. Am I excited? Yes, absolutely, I'm excited. Subscribe if you can. If you already subscribed, that's great. Just hit the like button, hit that notification button, so you do not miss do not miss a video. But until then, thank you very much. We'll speak to you soon. Stay sideways, people, and stay safe.